Welcome to Flagler in Focus, where we go behind the scenes with people keeping our county prepared, protected, and moving forward. Today, we're talking to two of Flagler County's newest emergency management specialists as we head into hurricane season. So from activation to deployment, they are sharing what it's really like on the front lines and what you need to do or know to stay storm ready. So let's get into it. We have with us today emergency management specialist Kelly Steffens and Lovie Haley. Hello.
Hey, hi. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to everybody about what y'all know best. This is going to be an exciting show because you guys are just a lot of fun. So let's start with you, Kelly. Why don't you give us an intro about yourself? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I was born in New York, moved here when I was 3, and have lived in Palm Coast ever since.
So you're a Floridian.
Absolutely. But I like to claim a little bit of New York in my bloodline just in case.
To stay in the inheritance, is that all?
Exactly. But I attended Embry-Riddle for Homeland Security as my major, and now I'm here in emergency management.
What made you choose Homeland Security?
I really love the show Law & Order SVU as a kid. It was my absolute favorite.
It's still a favorite. It's one of my
so
favorites
good.
Also. So Embry-Riddle, and then how did you start over here?
I started over here. I really just wanted to get an internship on my resume. It's something that every college kid's looking for. So I was in emergency management as a class at the time at Embry-Riddle. And so I Googled Flagler County, where I lived, and emergency management and internships, which is exactly what I wanted. And the first Google result was Flagler County EM. And I shot an email, sent a prayer, because I didn't see any internship application directly on the page. Shot an email and was lucky enough to get a response and get an interview and then get the position for the summer.
Wonderful. And then from then on, I guess a position opened up, and here you are.
About a year later, I got a call that a position opened, and here I am.
Awesome. And Lovie Haley, I hear you have a few things in common with Kelly, but let's get started. So how'd you get started?
I was born in Maine, moved here when I was 4. So we both moved here when we were young. Both from up north.
You're still Floridian. We both are so Florida.
Pretty much. We have to claim it.
Yeah, that part.
Grew up here, Flagler County. Went to Belterre, Indian Trails, Matanzas High School, which Kelly and I both did.
All the same.
And
did you know each other in high school?
We never talked to each other at school. We had some classes together.
We took emergency management.
We took a management.
You totally took an emergency management class together.
She sat right in front of me, and I looked over her shoulder. And
no way. Oh, really? No, insane.
I feel like in college, not a lot of people talk to each other. You kind of.
It's a huge campus.
It is.
That is a huge campus.
You do your work, and you're in your set groups pretty much for the whole year, whole semester. So
yeah. And I take it you. How did you find us here in Flagler County?
So when I was a junior in college, I did an internship with the city of Palm Coast with the city manager. And then I did an internship the following year with Kyle Berryhill, the Palm Coast fire chief. And I told him that if he ever had any emergency management internships to let me know. So I did one with him, and we were actively involved with Flagler County emergency management. And I was involved in some of the active shooter drills that we did at the new Advent Hospital. So that was a really amazing learning opportunity that I was a part of. And that's kind of how I got involved in emergency management here. I told Kyle Berryhill that I wanted to do a tour of Flagler County emergency management. I met Ryan, the emergency management manager, and Jonathan Lord, the director. And I knew that this was something I wanted to do.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And now we have the dynamic duo, which is Kelly and Lovie. And I'm thrilled because, both of you are some of my favorite people here. But we already know.
I appreciate it. You're some of my favorite people.
Yeah, that part. Anyway, so that being said, now that everyone has a background about you, I wanted to discuss, because we're approaching hurricane season, but I kind of wanted to give people a background because this is not your first rodeo being in emergency management during hurricane season. Both of you were activated. We all were activated last year during Hurricane Milton in October. So I wanted to ask you guys, what was your first activation like?
My first activation was definitely trial by fire. There is nothing that can prepare you for being in an activation, no amount of training. But it was a huge learning experience and also provided a lot of relationship building for me with all of our partners in the EOC.
I think my first activation was definitely a learning experience. You learn how things are supposed to operate, how things are supposed to work, and it's definitely eye-opening in how you can improve in the future for future activations.
What was there anything that like surprised either of you? Like, did anything catch you off guard? Like, did it happen as you expected it to, or?
I definitely had expected to be 100% aware that a hurricane was coming and be ready for the hurricane to come and have time to get ready. But in my case, I had gotten back from a vacation, was on a flight from New Jersey back here to Florida.
You were heading into the eye of the storm.
Yes, we were heading back the day that we activated. So I missed the first day of activation. So coming straight from a 10-day long trip into a full-blown activation in the EOC was definitely difficult. And I imagined it would be challenging coming back to my job after a vacation, but the on-call status coming back to the most intense part of my job after a vacation was definitely a trip.
And what was your role in an activation?
During the activation, I served as planning section chief for the Alpha shift, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day.
And how was that?
Planning section chief is definitely an interesting experience. The goal is basically to document and report absolutely everything, because if it's not documented and reported, it did not happen. So it was a lot of talking to our partners and trying to get as much information as I possibly can, while also keeping others updated on what everybody else is doing and making sure the call center is also up to date with questions and inquiries from the public.
So you were constantly you were kind of an intermediary of information in that regards.
Absolutely. Trying to stay as up to date as possible and also keeping all of our outlets of communication as up to date as possible.
And how about you, Lovie? What was your role during Milton activation?
So during Milton activation, I served as the Human Services Branch Director. So it was kind of my job to coordinate and facilitate the opening of shelters in our community, making sure all of the supplies were there, staff was there. Reporting that information to the state. We have to report 2 times a day how many people are in our shelters.
Do you go out to the shelters as well?
Typically, yes. Last storm, I did not have the chance to. There was a lot going on. It was my first time. So hopefully in the future, I can go and see how shelters operate here locally in Flagler County.
And this question is for both of you. So how did it feel for the first time to just jump in and do these 12-hour days? And it's actually more than 12-hour days, because I think y'all slept over at the EOC a couple nights, because we couldn't, there was a point where we couldn't drive out due to inclement weather and street flooding and what have you. So I take it that takes a toll.
It was definitely tiring, but I actually worked at Dunkin' Donuts during college and during high school. So I was kind of used to working some odd hours. I used to work before I even went to class. So I think that helped prep me for the kind of hours that we'd be working. I definitely didn't work 12-hour shifts at Dunkin', but those hours definitely helped prepare me for that.
I have the same point of view, at least coming from college. I was on the cross-country and track team, so I'd have a workout at 6, 7 a.m., I would go to classes, and between classes, I would work at my on-campus job. So I'd be on campus for mostly 12-hour days, honestly.
That's nuts. Okay, so that does sound like good preparation. And how long were you guys activated for?
We were activated for 10 days.
Oh, holy moly. Holy moly. Were there any lessons that you took away from this experience?
There's always lessons that come out of every hurricane. We have after-action reports, which dictate all of any mistakes or improvements that we should be making, as well as highlighting our strengths to make sure that we keep for next activation. And we also send out surveys to our partners who are helping us in the EOC as well. It's about 50 to 70 people who are able to give their feedback so we can improve for the future. And yeah, I would say that's probably the most important part.
So how many people are on our emergency management team right now?
Full-time staff, there's 6 of us.
6, okay. And volunteers?
24, I believe.
Okay.
20-something.
And then how many people usually get activated? How many people for Flagler County get activated to assist the community? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I do not.
I think I know the EOC seats 70.
And there's usually a full house,
yeah,
especially at the height of it, right?
Yeah, and that's just for one shift at a time. So.
Yeah. Well, Lovey here had a double whammy because she started activation literally 48 hours after she came back from a deployment to Dixie County when it was struck by Helene a week earlier. So here we were at in Flagler County at the EOC, kind of preparing in the event that Helene may affect our county. It did not. But unfortunately, it had a great impact on those folks on the western coast of our state. So a lot of counties deployed to assist that, and we assisted Dixie. So how about you tell us a little bit about that experience, Lovie?
It was definitely an amazing opportunity to go out and help Dixie County residents, and it was definitely great preparation for what I would encounter later on in our own county. It's very eye-opening seeing that, how devastating it was to that county. I remember walking through with you in Horseshoe Beach and just seeing piles of wood, and I saw like a stuffed animal in the road, and I had never experienced or seen anything like that in my life. And it just means so much that we're able to support communities and support our community and make an impact when it really matters most.
Absolutely. Can you explain to folks probably like the difference between one of the major differences between Dixie County and Flagler County?
So, Dixie County was a very small county. I think
Very rural.
very rural. Going between the different parts of the county, you would have to drive like 30 minutes to get to one area and then 30 minutes the other way. So yeah.
It was a vast rural landscape. I believe there was only 4 municipalities. And yeah, 3 of them were coastal communities, and I do recall the devastation that to actually have our boots on the ground and see entire houses gone into the ocean.
I've always seen pictures of it in the news and on social media, and seeing it in person is just so much different. It's heartbreaking.
So the difference between deployment and activation is that we were there to assist the other county. So how did you feel? Was it good practice for you, do you think then?
It was absolutely good practice. I think it was great to have that experience before bringing it and having it in our own county.
You being such a new employee to begin with, we really threw you into the fire. So
I
yeah.
know. So it was great to have that first experience to see how things work and then bring it into our own community.
Exactly.
48 hours later.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, we're approaching hurricane season. So a lot of listeners out there probably have a lot of hurricane prep questions. So I'll throw it out to both of you. What should residents be doing right now to get ready for hurricane season?
Right now, residents, absolutely. If you don't have one already, build an emergency kit. If you do have an emergency kit, make sure you restock it because a lot of us had used items from last activation, whether that be food, water, etc.
What should go into an emergency kit?
For your emergency kit for water, you should have at least 1 gallon per person per day. You should have enough food for each person for 5 to 7 days, as well as clothing, medications that you take, first aid kit, any sort of prescription drugs you may have, toiletries and hygiene items so you stay clean, super important to remember, a flashlight and batteries, physical cash in case credit cards are no longer working due to a power outage, toys, books, and games for the kids so they don't want to kill each other, any
Very
sort of
wise.
important documents you may have as well in a waterproof container or even on a USB drive, something that people don't think about.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Lovey, how about signing up for alerts?
So absolutely, if you have not signed up yet, you can sign up for our free emergency alert system out on our website, flaglercounty.gov/emergency. And then we also have a lot of posts and preparation for hurricane season on our social medias. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Flagler EOC.
And Lovey is also the social media director for the EOC as well. So she has lots of positive, great preparedness information that she's constantly putting out there on those channels as well.
Absolutely. Check out our post. We do a lot of fun different things. So like we have Mitigation Monday, how you can better improve your home for disaster impacts. We have Weather Wednesdays. I try to throw some fun things in there.
Yeah, you do.
Thank
How
you.
about you're welcome. Emergency plans. What should people how do they create one? What should they have within their emergency plan?
So definitely probably a communication plan, writing down phone numbers for the people that you live with, someone that lives outside. You should definitely have an evacuation plan, knowing what shelters in your community you can go to, a location outside of the county that you can go to, maybe staying with a friend or a family member somewhere else, just thinking ahead and knowing what you can do when something comes our way.
What's one thing people think they're doing right in hurricane prep, but they often get it wrong?
A lot of people build an emergency kit for all the human members of their household, but forget about their pets when the time comes.
Hmm.
Pets should also have pet care items like food for them, any sort of medications they may have, a harness, muzzle, leash, all the things that your pet would need for a storm. Not only should you supply for humans, but you also should supply for your pets.
Lovey, you once reminded me that not all of our furry friends are mammalian or birds, because I have an axolotl. And you gave me really good advice last hurricane season,
Absolutely.
which was
So you need either a generator. Some of our pets are electrical dependent, so it's important to have a generator to make sure that they are prepared as well.
and do our shelters here in Flagler County, do they allow for pets as well?
They do. We do allow for pets.
Do you have to pre-register?
You do not have to pre-register your pets.
Okay.
You can just bring them with you. We will activate a pet-friendly shelter every time we open a general pop or special needs shelter. So definitely pets are welcome.
Excellent. All right. Ladies, what are you all personally doing to get ready this year?
So for me, I'm definitely making sure my emergency kit is packed. I try to keep one in my office at work. I try to keep one in my car, and then I have one at my house ready to go.
Oh, you're okay. Triple preparedness. All right.
Not as good of an answer for me, but still good. This year, we have a snake in our house, and we are going to be purchasing just a small portable generator specifically for the snake tank because he is electrically dependent, needs the heat.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. All right. So how I might be repeating myself, but how can the public stay informed during an emergency?
Staying tuned to our social media, checking out our website, and making sure they are signed up for our Alert Flagler program at flaglercounty.gov/emergency.
Mhm.
And then they can click on emergency alerts. And then after it says Alert Flagler. And then on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Flagler EOC. And then we will update our website during activations as well.
Excellent. All right. And these next couple questions I had for you is just for aspiring emergency specialist, emergency management specialist. So what would you all say is something that you'd say to someone considering this field? Like, is there any certifications, internships? Like what would you say to them if somebody you're mentoring wants to enter the field?
As somebody who is an intern myself, I definitely recommend interning first to see if you like it before you jump into it. Internships in general, not even just for emergency management, but for whatever you may be interested in, are a great way to figure out whether you would like something or not. It really got me into emergency management.
Perfect.
And then at Embry-Riddle, we both started taking FEMA independent study courses. So if that was something they're interested in, they could definitely look into that and start taking some courses. I think some of the basic ones are
100, 200.
100, 700, and 800.
Yes.
So I think that would be a great starting point for someone.
Can people take that for free or do they-
Absolutely. It's
Oh,
free.
okay. On the FEMA website?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, excellent.
They can just look up FEMA independent study.
Is there anything you can warn people? Like what is there anything that surprised either of you? And I think you've probably touched upon it a little bit already, but is there anything that surprised you that you would probably like let people know, like, hey, this surprised me, just so you know?
I think we had a lot in our county that surprised me of people that either didn't have things prepared or there was a lot of people that needed like food and water. So just making sure you stock up on those things and what Kelly said, making sure you replenish, make sure it's not expired for the new year.
Now, just because you're emergency management doesn't mean you only work during emergencies. I imagine there's a lot of what we say called gray sky or blue skies, right? Emergency gray sky. We have mostly blue skies. What do y'all do during blue skies?
During Blue Skies, we are writing plans and also reviewing prior plans annually to make sure they stay up to date. we have plans for essentially anything and everything that could happen in the county.
So if Godzilla rises from the depths of the Atlantic and decides to tromp on Flagler County, there's a plan for that.
We do.
That should be a new one. I should make that.
Yeah.
So Kelly's been working on our local mitigation strategy plan, and then this week I finished working and updating our mass feeding plan for the community, and then our evacuation shelter program.
Excellent. How do you all stay calm and focused in high pressure situations?
I think we just look for each other. I think we kind of calm each other down. I think going through it with someone who's kind of the same person as me is very helpful to go through stressful situations.
You guys seem like a really cohesive group.
Yeah, I absolutely lean on all of my coworkers to keep me sane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We work very well together, I would say.
That's super important. Lightning round.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, everyone. Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee. Iced.
I like a little bit of both. I dabble.
You dabble? You dabble in your caffeinated energy beverages. Favorite EOC snack stash item?
My own personal snack drawer in my office.
What's in there?
Oh my God, I got Cheez-Its. I have Wheat Thins. I have a lot of cookies, Doritos, Lay's.
Yeah.
I'm set.
We both have a snack drawer.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Currently in mine, I have some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I have some Princess Disney Goldfish.
Okay.
And I have a lot of scattered chocolate. There's a lot going on in there.
So I did good when I brought you all assorted chocolates at Christmas time.
Absolutely. You hit it right on the mark.
Okay. Go-to hype song.
Mine is kind of my favorite song. It's As It Was by Harry Styles. It's just about everything will always be changing. Nothing will ever be like it was.
Oh, that matches.
Yeah, it definitely hypes me up.
Yeah.
I don't think I could choose. I just have so many favorite artists.
It's Taylor Swift, isn't it?
I love Taylor Swift. I love Lady Gaga, and I love Beyonce. Anything
that loves Taylor Swift. You just grab your playlist, girl.
Yes,
whatever's on.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdest thing in your hurricane kit.
Do you want to know what I have? I have pocket-size keychain mini operation and mini Connect 4.
Crazy.
It's literally a keychain. It's in my bag.
How does that even work?
It's so cute.
Can you really play Operation on it?
Honestly, I haven't cracked it open because I'd be working, but I have it. I'm prepared to play.
I don't think it's in Kelly's kit, but I love Kelly's utility belt.
I wear that all the time. That's always my kit. I wear a fanny pack 24/7.
That's our mini preparedness kit.
Yeah.
That's my on-the-go preparedness.
On the go. If y'all weren't doing emergency management, what would you be doing?
I think I would be a dispatcher. I think I would still be in the EOC building as a dispatcher.
I think I would be a teacher.
Oh, that's
what
a
grade?
noble profession.
I don't know. I'm pretty open-minded. I've just loved every single teacher that I've had, and I think it's an amazing line of work, and they deserve all the appreciation in the world. They're so special.
All right, we got some trivia. Can you name the costliest U.S. hurricane?
Katrina?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I'd have to look it up myself.
I was going to say Katrina, too.
I would bet Katrina made the most change.
Let's fact check this.
I don't know.
Were
we even alive for it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Were you guys alive for it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Are you younger? You guys must have just been born.
Yeah,
when was it?
We were babies.
Okay, my daughter was 2005. So 2004. Yep.
Katrina.
Oh, no. Katrina. No, Katrina was 2005.
Oh.
Okay, so my daughter was born already. Okay, so y'all are right.
Boom.
Ding, 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 ding. All right.
4 years of school paid.
Yeah, there you go. What's the difference between a watch and a warning?
So a watch is when you have all of the ingredients for the significant weather to happen. And then a warning is when it's coming, take cover, shelter, do all the things you need to do. It's in the air.
A watch is like having all the ingredients for a white people taco night.
Mm-hmm.
And then the physical taco is the warning. It's coming.
I literally knew that's what she was going to say. I believe Lovie's already done the taco post countless times.
I've done the donut one. Where you have all the dough and the flour and the sprinkles ready. But tacos coming soon.
Listen.
It's queued up.
Yeah. And tacos are a good, hurricane party.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Food anyway.
Customizable.
Before working in emergency management, I always had a hurricane party. Always.
Well, now our party's in the EOC.
Now our parties are all together working.
Sometimes it's all of us sleeping on the floor together.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
And just, living the dream.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Finally, last question. What's your emergency management superpower? Like calmest under pressure, best at sleeping at the EOC.
Oh, I will take best at sleeping at the EOC 100%. I was in my own office with an air mattress, and the power had flickered out, and my computer started making this awful beeping noise to let you know that the power had been out.
Yeah.
And I got up, I unplugged it, and I laid back in bed.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
I don't know. There was a lot of things that I had to problem solve really quick. So probably that.
I think both of you have this superpower of sense of humor, and you kept everybody sane.
Thank you.
Because
appreciate that.
Yeah, both of you guys are just awesome to work with, and you brought levity. You know what I mean? We took it seriously, but there was just still levity and
That's what the girlies are for at the EOC.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, unfortunately, I think my air mattress is way too big to sleep in any of y'all's office.
My office has a lot of space.
You could probably fit it in Kelly's.
You think I could fit it in Kelly? I don't know.
Yeah.
Lovie's seen my air mattress. I mean, it's got a blow-up headboard and all.
It's beautiful.
Headboard?
Yeah.
It would not fit in my office.
That's
I could barely fit my twin in my office.
She could barely stand up off her cot when she was sleeping next to me.
You didn't share your bed?
She could have. But oh my God, it was so cold that one night, or the couple nights. Oh my goodness. And I remember I forgot my pillow and I forgot a blanket. It was bad. Anyway, I digress.
You guys should have collabed, shared.
We should have.
But that's one of my lessons learned. So next time we'll just put all your air mattresses together.
Make a big, huge
Super bed.
Make a super bed with tent. It'll be great.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, good times. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
I'm glad that you're here to inform. Remind once again, what people need to do to receive alerts.
They need to sign up for Alert Flagler on our website. They can visit flaglercounty.gov/emergency, click emergency alerts, Alert Flagler, and they can sign up there. They can also follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Flagler EOC, and then just stay tuned to our website for updates.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Lovie. Thank you, Kelly. You guys rock.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone listening, thanks for joining us on Flagler in Focus. Huge shout out to our emergency management team, not just for what they do during storms, but every day to keep us safe. Again, listen to Lovie. Make sure you're signed up for Alert Flagler. Follow all of our official channels for updates. And as always, stay informed, prepared, and safe. Catch you next time.